trading Bitcoin's micro supports as it continues to make continuous all-time highs has been an amazing experience. And I want to share that with you guys, why I think that and what my expectations are is with Bitcoin going forward and how I am personally managing my trades as well. So before I do, remember guys, we're still waiting on the FOMC meeting that will eventually happen to see what Jerome Powell thinks of the tariff inflation and rather than he's gonna be super hawkish or not. And he's expected to pretty much say that he's not in a hurry. He's just gonna wait for proper continuation of progress with inflation to lower rates. So I'm not expecting anything new, but it is something to still wait on. And we know that throughout the rest of this month in May, we still have a lot of PCE information that we're waiting on as well. So that can highly influence these prices. So with that being said, I am going to continue to personally take small long trades, primarily focused on micro supports. And I highly recommend everyone do what they can to lower risk and to take proper position sizing and keep your trades sort of strict, because at any point we could have a fair retracement, and it could come down all the way here, or we can just see previous consolidation area get filled, or we can just see a retracement down within this area. But I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm doing and how I'm reducing risk during this current new all-time high environment, and how I'm continuing to take trade. So I did take a trade this morning. I'm gonna show you guys a little video I took. It's like a 7-second long video. I made over $400 this morning trading BITU, just taking advantage of early morning micro supports, because we're continuing to see more all-time highs, and until these micro supports get broken, I'm not really expecting the price to come down and hit any support areas. And I'm just going to continue to keep trading every micro resistance breakout while using micro supports as a tight stop loss, because at any point when micro supports are broken, it can easily build up bearish momentum and see significant drops in prices, right? We can easily see the price come all the way back down to like just above 100K at 100 and 100,500. I can't even talk. So it's very important, right? And what I'm doing is I'm personally going to keep the same strategy for these new environments where I'm trading micro supports, and it's been amazing. Every micro support has had either a very, very proper retracement, or it has had micro supports again being supported very well. So right here from this move higher, we had a 0.5 retracement down, super impressive. On the way back higher, also another 0.5 retracement completed extremely well, super impressive. Previous bigger picture resistance area has acted as a support, overlapping with previous swing low right here. So where we see the price come down, find a higher low, go up, make a very, very impressive rally up higher. We filled all these green fib extension areas quite well. And if you guys remember on last night's video, I said, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it's a good idea to start selling out between 111 to 112K, because this fib extension, at least to me, it says that, hey, there is a strong resistance here. And until we break over and hold above the $111,905 level, we can continue to see, sideways consolidation. And if micro supports are broken, then we can continue, or for the first time actually see sort of a downtrend forming to try to fill in any support areas we have with fib retracements area. But it's impressive where the price comes down, doesn't break below micro support, and continues to rally up higher. And then just recently throughout today, we've seen the price create like these where it comes down and it continues to create smaller, higher low structures. So technically speaking, and the RSI continues to not really overexhaust itself to the upside. It's incredible how strong and consistent Bitcoin is being and not showing any weak pressure whatsoever. But what I'm trying to stress is that I do have another position opened up right now. I actually put in 20,000, which is more than what I would normally put in a small trade, double actually the max. But I put 20,000 in because we're still holding these higher lows until micro supports are broken. So we have a micro support right here. I plan to start shaving the position and reducing my share price as we continue to come down in order to, or with the purpose of conserving capital, so that I can later on deploy that capital in much stronger fib support areas. So really what I'm doing is quite simple, and that's really what I'm trying to express here is every micro support that's broken, I plan to shave the overall share position to conserve capital. Every time we hit what do you call it, previous or not previous, every time we hit any significant support areas, so it can be the blue line, which was the previous all-time high, good buying opportunity overlapping with this retracement area, and then so I'll be using that as the opportunity to accumulate. I'll be using the bottom 0.618 to accumulate, and then if we break below that, I'll be using the 0.5 and the 0.618 to accumulate down here. So 106,300 and 105,000. And then below that, I'm continuing to use the 0.5, 0.618 retracement, and then same thing down here if the price were to come well below 100K if that were to happen. So far, it's still very much possible, but what I'm looking for to see if we can break out of micro resistance. So right now, micro resistance is all-time high at 112,000, roughly 17, or we'll just say 112,000. Because if we break that, I'm looking to potentially start testing the next overall, leg up area, which will be between 115,000 to 150,000. Median being 130 to 135K. That is where the overall leg up is. But we can see major, signs of, weakening in bullish volume as we fluctuate within this area. To test the price, test micro supports continuing again, and before the price can go much, much higher. So really, until we're up there, until we start breaking into this area and showing strength above the 114.5K level, I'm going to continue to watch my position size. I'm going to continue to shave positions, lock in profit every time we break previous, micro resistances as we go up higher, lock it in profit as we go. And then every time we retest micro supports, I plan to accumulate. And quite simply, if we break micro supports, then I plan to shave off positions to conserve capital, reduce the amount of loss I can potentially take, and then reaccumulate at the next support areas, which I explained earlier. So that's really what I'm doing right now. So far, these last 2 weeks of just trading Bitcoin has been phenomenal. It's just been super easy, to be honest. It's been super easy to trade Bitcoin because the price just keeps going higher. You can pretty much buy at any support level, and you're good, right? You're good. But again, with that being said, easy trading does not always last forever, and eventually we will start seeing declines in prices, and we'll start seeing a lot of people trying to, call the bottom when we still have bearish momentum. So, that's not something you really want to do. So it's best to, again, in my opinion, it's best to approach Bitcoin with either imbalances, fib structures, or, especially if you're mixing, micro supports in there as well. So the moment Bitcoin breaks below 110,800, maybe it's a good idea to start reducing your share position, conserve capital, and reaccumulate at at the next significant, important support areas. And we have plenty of those to accumulate. And we have plenty of micro supports in the short term to shave positions off, to really reduce our position sizing and conserve as much capital as possible, to accumulate at a much lower price, and then we can continue to see the price go much, much higher. If Bitcoin throughout this weekend, or even, into next week, we see quick sell-offs, which can definitely happen. I mean, as quickly as we go up, we can easily come down. I plan to, again, accumulate at every 0.5 and 0.618 retracement level. And from there, it's quick recovery up. I'm expecting a super quick V-shaped recovery up because we do have this environment where Bitcoin is entering, or at least getting closer to the last uh, you know rallies that it's going to have throughout the last year of the bull cycle, and these are the most volatile rallies that we're going to see, and the most volatile dips, because again the last year of the cycle is the most volatile. So understanding how quickly we came up, it's very important to watch your position sizing and keep an eye on those micro supports to show signs of weakness and bearish volume potentially building up, because we can easily come down. And then if you're catching it fast enough, we should be able to come back up pretty quick. So again, just to summarize it, I do have an open position right now, 20K into BITU. I plan to shorten that position, or at least minimize it every time we break micro supports. But if we don't break micro supports, then I'm just going to continue to use smaller structures to create new fib extensions as a way for me to know where I want to start shaving my position if we go much higher. And then the moment we go into this area, then we can see some very big volatility, some very big red and green candles to really remind us how important it is to keep track of those micro supports, and just the overall structures as we continue to go much higher. So far we're holding the ascending support line. If we break below this, we got to keep an eye on the previous micro swing low, and then we continue to keep an eye on previous micro swing lows as we continue to move forward, and then strong buying opportunities. And I'll have some fib extensions up there for you guys in a future date, as if we start to break these micro resistances to go much higher. Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't repeat myself too much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.